Hi there. Welcome to the Dean Blundell Show. My name is Dean. Big day today. Exciting day. Midweek. It's like fucking 15, 16 degrees outside. I can't get over the weather, so I won't stop talking about it. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. My name is Dean. This is powered by Blue Microphones, broadcasting, podcasting equipment. Blue has everything you need to not sound like you suck, including this Blue Yeti X microphone, some Grammy-winning, award-winning MoFi headphones. So get your stuff from Blue Microphones today, the official microphone of the DeanBlundell.com podcast network. Also, Gitch from our friends at Ed's Fine Imports. He's got luxurious boxer briefs, luxurious with a sleek push for your package. Promo code GITCH3 gets you a 4-pack of Gitch for the price of 3 when you order for free now at edsfineimports.com. He'll deliver them to you, hand deliver your Gitch. And domination.com if you're producing content like this and you've got zero time to edit your content, dmntn.com. Produce 90 pieces in 10 minutes. Try for free today at domination.com. Really cool. Joining us today for the podcast, one of my friends and a hero to the Toronto baseball community. Please welcome Mr. Ricky Romero, along with Lachlan Cross from 95.7 Cruise FM, and Grant Johnson, who just decided not to put his name in the fucking thing.
I thought I did.
No, you didn't.
No?
So even Ricky, like everybody knows who Ricky is, and he's still got his name up there.
Notorious.
Yeah. Anyway, good to see everybody. This is fun. Ricky and I kind of shoot emails back and forth and the odd text. And when I asked him to come on the show today, I was excited, and so I thought, why don't we just extend this interview to Grant, who works with Locke at 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton, because he's like a massive fucking fan. So Ricky, just so you know, it might get weird.
It's all good. It's all good.
Big fan.
Yeah, like a huge fan.
Yeah.
It's all
go
good.
Pull your jersey out, actually.
Do you have a Romero jersey in the closet?
I have one somewhere, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's get it signed.
Dude, he'll sign it. Just send it to him. He'll sign it.
Yeah,
swear to God.
Sure.
Here's a question about that jersey. Is it the old school, like Jays logo, the old shitty Jays logo?
It's the old blue, the black one with the weird blue Jay, yeah.
Did you like those jerseys, Ricky? It seems like you got the worst jersey time to play for a team in the history of this league. It was like, because those jerseys sucked.
This is the way I see it. It was a big league jersey. That's the way I see it. You know, so
I guess so.
I was beyond proud of that. But I think after we got the new ones in 2012 when I was there, the blue ones that they wear now. So I kind of went through the black and those white ones, and then went through the OG ones. Once we get that new logo back, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's still my favorite logo. Like and I think like year after year, it's voted the best uniform in Major League Baseball.
Oh man, it's so crispy. It's something about those blue jerseys. Just it makes it pop. You know, it makes it pop. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of those. Yeah,
I am too. Locke, you gonna say something? Did I miss you there? Did we lose him? Did we lose Locke? So Grant, it's all you. Question for Ricky before we start. You have a couple of fan questions? No?
I feel like we're losing everyone, Dean.
I think we are. I think we've lost all of Edmonton. Hello, Grant. Can you hear me? Grant, are you there? Hello. No one's there. Just you and me and Locke. I'm gonna get rid of Locke. Dude, this is hilarious. We just started the podcast too.
It's funny because this is what technology, man. Like when we do our podcast, we always struggle with this crap about, you know, different Wi-Fi's. Everyone's on different Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So it's normal. I feel like now. The first time it happened to me, quick little story. We had Mike Soroka on our podcast. So it was Mike Soroka, Beto Duran, who's the co-host, and Mike Soroka. And my feed went out. So it's Beto interviewing Mike, and I'm trying to get back in. It took me like 20, 30 minutes. I felt bad for Mike, man, because he was sitting there like, I'm doing this for Ricky. He's not even here. So,
dude, how sweaty were you? How nervous were you?
Oh, man, I was
fucking feel terrible when that happens.
I was mother effing everything. Like I'm like shaking my computer, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like the guy's texting me. He's like, I can't get you back on. I'm like, well, do something about it. Like, let's go. Like this can't happen. You know, it was just one of those things where I was like, golly, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. And I was even sitting right by the modem too, so that it wouldn't go out. And sure enough, it still did.
Yeah, it sucks. That's kind of the time that we're in, though, right? Like you sort of have to just kind of accept the fact that things are shitty right now when you're trying to do anything.
Yeah, because originally our podcast, we were doing it we would go to the guys' hotel rooms when they'd come on the road and either play the Dodgers or the Angels. So we'd like just take a little trip to the hotel, do it in the hotel rooms with a couple mics. Mm-hmm. And it was cool because you get, I feel like face to face, you get more out of them. And now doing all this, learning this whole technology side, it's like, you just never know what you're going to get on a daily episode when you're filming them.
No, how's your podcast, by the way? Because I was watching it. Let's Go Ricky Rowe, the podcast. I watched it. Was you, Beto, and it was really cool because Josh Tolley was in the podcast with Adam Lind. And the last time I saw Adam Lind was at a pub with you, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But it was a great podcast. You guys got into the DH. And you talked about wanting to play in like Asia and then trying to go play in Mexico and the state of baseball today. It was fucking great. But I loved the podcast. Is it weird for you kind of getting into that stuff? Like, is it hard for you to kind of get into that part? Because I know you've done some broadcasting.
It was at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. Especially the first episodes we ever filmed, we took a road trip, a bunch of my buddies and Beto included. We're like, let's go rent a house in Arizona during spring training. Let's rent a house and let's go start this podcast. And Beto's been bugging me up to that point about it. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that. Like, that's just, it ain't for me. And he's like, Rick, I know you're going to be good. These guys love you. You know, you have a good relationship with a lot of these guys. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, we had our first episode with Scott Richmond, and then we brought Travis Snyder in, like in this house, like we'd film like 3 or 4 a day, and we were just like saving each episode obviously to release it. We weren't releasing them all at once, but it was like Brandon Morrow, Noe Ramirez, who grew up in East LA, who pitches for the Cincinnati Reds now, who's a good friend of mine. And then we did Brandon Morrow, and yeah, it turned out good. And I was like, man, for me, I was just amazed that the journey that everyone has, and I think that's what kind of hit me. And I was like, wow, everyone gets to the big leagues. All these guys have pitched in the big leagues, but what they had to go through to get to the big leagues, it's not what everyone shows on TV, right? I mean, you see the glamour, you see he's pitching in the big leagues. How bad can life be? But like, when you listen to Scotty Richmond's story and everything he went through to get to the big leagues, fuck, man, it's awesome, And I think it kind of left me like, I want to know more. And the more we got into guys and interviewed more guys, I was like, this is cool. And when we got CC Sabathia, I mean, it took it to the top for me. And I was like, this is cool. I want to keep doing this. So
that was a fucking great interview with CC Sabathia, because it's weird talk. Like, I can sit here and talk to you. You played Major League Baseball, and we can kind of shoot the shit, and I can ask you questions about, your favorite at bat, or that time you got a hit in a game back in 2011, or when you faced quality. Like, it's just it's novelty to me. But when two guys, and it's almost like cross sports platforms too, right? Two professional athletes, specifically that have played Major League Baseball, guys that have played the same fucking position, get a chance to shoot the shit. It's super genuine. That's what I got out of it. It was incredible.
Well, yeah, it was genuine. The first thing he asked me, he's like, hey, man, can I cuss? I was like, it's all yours, man. And the one thing we always say, we're like, just don't say anything that's going to get you in trouble or that you're going to have to answer questions about, because we're not about that. We don't want that to happen here. And he's like, hell no, like, don't worry about it. And I'll never forget the first time I met CC was in our weight room in Toronto, and he like sent his number right away. And he's like, hey man, I heard your story. Here's my number. Anytime you need anything, call me. And I was like, whoa, I don't even know this guy. He's just heard of me. We had the same agents at the time. And that's kind of how our relationship grew from there. And every time we saw each other, no matter what, it was always, like it was two brothers seeing each other. And to me, that's special. Why? Because of what he means to baseball and what he meant throughout to his career. If you, I don't know, have you seen his documentary, the grapefruit? What is it called? The Grapefruit Tree, or I forget what it was called. I mean, dude, I was like, this is crazy. I never knew this guy was battling so much during his time pitching in the big leagues and during the time I met him. And I think it just showed a different side of him that I was like, I sent him a quick text message right away. I was like, I was proud of you before. I'm even more proud of you now, man, to call you a friend. And obviously he didn't respond because I've listened to a few of his podcasts and he's like, yeah, I got like 300 unread messages. And I was like, oh, I'm probably one of those. But then out of nowhere, he'll reply out of nowhere.
Do you sweat those too? Like, just a quick aside, do you sweat when you send someone a text and they don't reply for a couple of days? Do you go, oh, fuck, I wonder if they hate me?
Nah, I always like him. I'm like, you know what? He probably does get like 500 text messages a day.
Yeah, for sure.
That I get it. But like I said, out of nowhere, sometimes he'll send me a direct message more than a text message sometimes. So it's pretty funny.
Do you feel that way when I text you? You're like, oh, fuck.
Nah, man. No, I to me, I can't stand watching or seeing my wife's phone because it's like 120 unread emails, like 20 unread. I can't do that. It gives something about seeing my phone with that. It gives me anxiety. I can't see that it has that many unread stuff. Like
you don't like having you have to keep up with all those. Like if you see an email, like, okay, dude, I gotta
erase it. If it's not important, I gotta erase it.
Dude, that is unbelievable because I got in shit yesterday. Look at this. Can you see this? Can you see that? Can you see the number on the bottom of my phone there?
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Something like that. I'm like, no thanks.
Is that 30? What is that? 36,835.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Like
Kara's phone's got to be just like that.
Oh yeah. Mine, I mean, I just have like 3 unread messages and then 1 unread
oh my God. Are you anal? Are you like organizationally anal?
Sometimes for certain, like my phone, yeah. Like even if I get a freaking notification on an app, I'm like, I gotta get rid of it. If it's not important, I gotta get rid of it. I just don't like seeing it there.
That's unbelievable. Are you like that with other shit too, like around the house? Like if there's a mess, if there's a sock on the floor, you walk by it, or you go, I gotta fucking pick that up.
No. I'm not. No. It's just something about my phone that I'm like, I don't like seeing a bunch of numbers there.
I don't like seeing a bunch of numbers there. I'm like that with weird shit. Like I'm annoyed by little things. Like a little piece of chalk on the chalkboard growing up when they used to use chalkboards in school. Remember chalkboards? Did you get a chalkboard? Or you're a little younger than me, but not much.
Of course.
I'd see a little piece of fucking chalk on the chalkboard and I'd have to go, I gotta go up there and I gotta get rid of that like right now. That's how weird I am. But I'm totally cool with literally 35,000 emails that I haven't looked at.
Dude, let me get your phone. I'll just swipe left right away.
I wouldn't even. Do you know how fucked I am? I wouldn't even know how to get rid of all those, other than going through them one by one by one. I would have no idea. And it's not like my theory is if someone hasn't texted me, I don't know if you're like this too. Like I don't have voicemail. Do you have voicemail?
I mean, I have a voicemail, but I don't have like a hey, you reach Ricky's phone, leave a message. No, I just have my phone number on it, like the normal whatever.
Yeah, but can people leave a voicemail on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you check that?
I mean, whenever I get a voicemail, yeah. I check it right there and then.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
you I will say this, you always get back to me, but there's totally a reason. There's only one reason I don't have voicemails, because my thing is, if someone leaves a message and I don't respond to it, that's like the worst, right? When you leave a voicemail for someone and no one gets back to you. So if I don't have it, I never have to feel the way you feel when you've got an email.
Well, the worst is when you send somebody a message and they forgot to turn on that notification where it says that they've read it and it says it's been read, and you're like, dude, well then why the hell haven't you responded back to me?
Yeah, that sucks too. Because and I do that sometimes because I'll send people like a quick email and go, hey man, or a quick text, hey man, can you join us for the podcast? And it says message delivered, message read, and it's like 5 days later and they still haven't responded. And I'm like, I kill myself over. I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong. I have no idea what I did wrong. I'm pretty sure I did something really wrong because the person's not even fucking want to come on the show. Has no desire to come on the show, I guess. but I take it personally. It's like I don't respond to it. That's why I'm weird. I don't respond to that stuff. But when it's not responded to on my behalf, I get crazy angry.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Everyone's got their own little thing.
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre, isn't it? I don't know what's wrong with me. I have no idea what's wrong with me, but it's frustrating. Anyway, how you doing? How's the family? Good? Kids
good, man. Everything's good. Yeah, we're just expecting baby number 3 here in a few weeks. The wifey's getting anxious. She's over it. She's at that point where it's like, just get this baby out. Mm-hmm. The little boys are they're a handful, man. They're little maniacs. But it's been fun, man. I mean, I think there's something special, about this. There's something special about being a dad and having your boys, and it's cool when they're following directions. It's all gravy, but when they're not, it's like you want to fucking just leave the house and be like,
"What are they like? What are they like? Are they a pain in the ass sometimes?"
Energy, high energy. Yeah, they're high energy. They're on the go.
Give me high energy. Give me an example. Explain what high energy is, because I have 3 boys too. And you met them. I mean, you hung out with them, and they were great kids, but they were fucking high energy, and still are.
Oh man, I mean, as like our little one right now is taking a nap. The other one, his school luckily is open, so he's at school. But the little one, I mean, he's a nap. As soon as nap time ends, it's like we're on the go. It's time to go play. He wants to be outside. He wants to be. The cool thing about him, he's going to turn 2 here in a few weeks. I think he's going to be the one that kind of gets Sebastian. Our oldest is more, he's talented, but he doesn't care about how hard, like he just doesn't care about practice. The little one, he'll set up the ball on the tee and he starts taking hacks, and he's looking at himself in the mirror, taking hacks, like dry hacks, no bat, no nothing. He's just looking at himself.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Yeah, and
he's checking his form. He's sitting there checking his form.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. My wife was videoing him yesterday, and it's like he's looking at himself in the mirror. And anytime you say like, "Hey, let me see your swing," he like gets in position right away. And somehow he's left-handed for some reason, hitter, and he does everything right-handed. And he just takes a swing, and it's the funniest thing ever, man. It's like, where the hell is he getting this from? And the other one is more like, you give him a bat, and you say, "Here, I'm gonna throw to you." He'll hit 3 missiles at you, and then he's like, "All right, I'm done. I don't want to do this."
He's mastered it.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm over it. Dad, I like baseball, but I don't like it that much. The crazy thing is, the oldest one, he's already read my wife read all the Harry Potter books to him.
Yeah.
He's above and beyond. Like, he knows everything about Harry Potter. He thinks he's a damn wizard. He's got all the wands. He's got the cloaks. He's got everything, man. It's crazy, like the obsession that he has with it. It's pretty funny to see, because he's grown this imagination that's just takes him to places that I sit there and I'm like, what? Dude, I don't know how to play wizard with you. I just don't, because I don't know what's going on.
Dude, you get a stick. It's not that fucking hard to play wizard.
I know,
you just get a stick and you go, you got me.
Well, the thing is that I'll do stuff like that. And he's like, "Daddy, you don't even know what's going on." Like, you can't.
Oh, does he? He shit talks you? Your kid shit talks your Harry Potter knowledge?
So I'm like, dude, I really don't know what's going on, So, so it's pretty cool, like I said, to see that imagination. And I have always told myself, I'm not going to be one to push him. Like, if he likes space, he says he wanted to play this year. They're going to start practices this Saturday here, under certain restrictions and stuff like that. Is he 6
now? Is he 6?
He's 5.
5, yeah.
And he wants
Sebastian's the oldest. Yeah. Diego's the middle. Okay. Yeah.
And he says he wants to play and he enjoys it. He tells me he wants to be a Toronto Blue Jay and all that stuff. Like, "Daddy, if I play for the Blue Jays, can I get unlimited popcorn?" And I'm like, "Dude, if you can get way more than that, trust me."
Dude, they give you shoes. They give you, like, people come and give you free suits and cars. You'll love it.
It's just every time we go up there, the Toronto Blue Jays do such a good job in taking care of me and my family. Yeah. And they spoil the shit out of him. So he just loves it when we go up there. It's nonstop, like popcorn, ice cream, and take him to the shop and get himself a bar or something, anything. And this guy just goes crazy. So he's definitely missing not being up there, man. Because we've explained a little bit to him about what's going on. But he's just like, every day he's like, "Daddy, like, when is this coronavirus gonna end? Like, I want to go to."
Oh, Toronto. Is he? Yeah, he's getting bummed because his grandma and grandpa on Carside are up here, right?
Yeah, they're up there. And we recently just bought a house up there too. So,
In Toronto?
So, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. We can do activities together now.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. So we just it was during this like when all this, not when all this stuff hit, but like we kind of said let's look at house to see what the prices are there, and one thing led to another. One of our best friends actually started the whole thing. She's like, hey, the house next to us that we just bought is available. You guys should look into it. And we started looking into it. We had her dad go and see it, and he said he gave us a lowdown, and we're like, okay, maybe that one's not for us. So we just started seeing a bunch of houses online, through our realtor. She helped us. She was tremendous. She was awesome. So we would just do FaceTime calls and kind of tour the houses like that. And we found the right one, and there we are. Now we have a house in the Port Credit area.
Oh, that's not far. That's actually 15, 20 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes from downtown.
Yeah, which is what we like, because
yeah,
it's one thing about being downtown, but everything downtown is crazy, man, expensive. And you're not getting very much of you can get a little, apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and it's almost just as much as a house 15 minutes from downtown, I feel like. So I think that's why we said, you know what, we'd rather be kind of on the outskirts of it a little bit, and just whenever we go to the city, just drive in.
That's awesome. So you're coming back to Canada, which is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, and it was one of those things. Our family's growing. We don't fit in grandma's house. We don't fit in grandpa's house. We're like, you know what? If we're gonna spend time up there, let's do it right. And let's. I mean, I'm in a position where we're able to do that financially, and I love being up there. And I'm still holding hope that one day the Blue Jays hire me in whatever capacity, and I'm able to be situated there. So that's why we kind of pulled the trigger on everything. Every time we go there, I feel like too, it was like for an event, and we're like at a hotel room, we're in and out. We never really sit back and enjoy, like, hey, let's spend 3-4 weeks of the summer here and just hang out. So I think that was a big thing about pulling the trigger on that. And we're pumped, man. I can't wait to see it. We haven't seen it. Her dad is overseeing everything, so it's like perfect. We have somebody there watching the house and stuff like that.
So let me get this straight, Richard, Ricky. Let me get this straight. You bought a house, didn't have to go in one home, didn't have to go to one tour, didn't have to get in another real estate agent's car, get in the back, go from house to house to house. Your father-in-law is taking care of business, and you're coming back to Canada. You're the greatest. You got life made.
Yeah, no. Let's hope that this, these times can move forward sooner than later, and stuff can somewhat go back to normal. I mean, I'm sure that the city, obviously, with baseball season just around the corner, misses the Toronto Blue Jays, and they have a heck of a team this year, and it's kind of tough, right? I mean, if you're a fan, you're like, man, I'm not even able to watch these guys in person, and there's something about sports. Everyone's always said it that brings people together, and like I said, hopefully we get through these times and we're able to enjoy some baseball and some beer and pizza, some hot dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just fucking doing something, anything, going for dinner, going out to have dinner just sounds like fun.
That too. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's just all of it, and it's just it's been
weird,
crazy, man. Yeah, it's been crazy.
So not to make you pine for home. Jays aren't playing any games here, obviously, right? They're playing down in Dunedin for the remainder of the season, or according to everything that we know. So
yeah, I mean, I know as much as you guys. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think as time goes by, I think we'll know more and more, and the more we get this under control, I think that hopefully they make
better off we are.
Yeah.
Are you on a personal note? Did you see the new spring training facility? Have you seen that?
Crazy, man.
Dude, were you jealous? Were you? Because I noticed.
Hell yeah, a little bit. I mean, shoot, when I was there, I was telling my friends, I was like, it was like we had maybe 1 or 2 squad racks, maybe like 3 treadmills. Now these guys have 24-hour fitness in there. It's like they got every single piece of equipment.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's understandable because there's so much data nowadays and certain things that they brought into baseball with the analytics and stuff like that, and the nutrition part of it, the resting part of it. There's all that stuff that came out that I wish, obviously, maybe it would have prolonged some of our careers.
I was going to ask you, because I was looking at that facility and I was thinking about you guys back when you were here and JP was here, Brett, all those cats, Adam Lynn, and how different, literally, and it's only been 10 years. It's been 10 years.
Yeah. And
how different, not just the approach to fitness is. And I thought that when I was actually looking at the fucking facility, because I'm like, Jesus, I wonder what those guys had. Yeah. Like, I wonder if they had a sports nutrition person. I wonder if they had someone that, gave a shit about how they ate or what they did or getting some sleep or sports psychology, that kind of stuff. Was that not non-existent back when you played?
Tell you what, we didn't have those tubs that they have, or a swimming pool. We had
Sweet two whirlpools.
We had two whirlpools that.
Did you just two?
That it was two, yeah, maybe 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 40, 50 guys have to share. Now you can fit 10 guys in one of those little jacuzzi tubs, So it's like I said, I'm happy for the Toronto Blue Jays because they needed to upgrade for sure. Every other organization has upgraded, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it almost leads me to believe like the next team that upgrades, whoever that team is, they're going to try to blow the Blue Jays out of the water. So it's
because that's got to be the nicest facility in Major League Baseball now.
100%, 100%.
They have indoor batting practice. They've got like covered batting practice. They got a covered field for fuck's sakes. Like half the field's covered.
Yeah, I not only saw the video, a friend of mine in the organization showed me the facility through FaceTime, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'd never want to leave. I would like, I'm a baseball rat as it was when I was there. Like I wanted to be there at, as early as possible and just hang out and stuff like that. There was something about that just I loved. And they're like, nah. I was like, does anybody stay extra? And they're like, nah, everyone leaves at the same time. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. I say that now, but yeah, when it's time to leave, you want to leave.
So what was sports nutrition? Like, would they feed you guys after games? Because like these guys are all on like vitamin supplements and flushes and protein mixes and like isogenics and weird shit. Or is it just like, because I remember I went into to your clubhouse, Blue Jays clubhouse. If you've never been in it, it's really fucking cool. Yeah. But the clubhouse part, there's this kitchen, and I walked in, and Devon White was there because it was his baseball thing, and Devon White and a couple other guys, and I'm like, and they were like, "Oh man, these guys got it made in the shade. All we had, and it was like peanut butter sandwiches and bananas, and that was it. All we had was like dry toast and this and that and this." And was it the same for you? Because it sure looked like you guys had it fucking made. Like when I walked into the canteen, I was like, and the guy's like, "Do you want an omelet?" I'm like, "Do I want a fucking omelet? Of course I want an omelet."
Yeah, well, you know what? I think at every stage in baseball, like every era is going to say, "Oh, they had it better than us." The guys that are there now have it way better than us. The guy when we were there, obviously the Devos, the Joe Carters, the Robbie Alomars, and be like, man, you guys had it way better than us. So I think every year, every era is going to keep getting better and better. And there's more, like I said, there's more data out there that shows about certain things that if you eat right and you do certain things, it stops it like stops inflammation. There's a lot of stuff out there now, and people have dug more into it that they apply it more, and rightfully so. They should. When you have, millions and millions and millions of dollars invested in certain guys or in your whole organization, it's important to feed them and provide them with the right stuff in order for them to be healthy enough to go out there and perform.
Speaking of feeding guys, see how much weight Vlad Jr. lost in the offseason? Like 42 pounds?
Yeah.
Did you see how good he looks running from home to first?
Yeah, man. You know what? And I'm excited for him, man. Honestly,
I am too.
Honestly, last year was a bit of a rough year for him, and and it's not easy when you're trying to go out there and perform, and you're also reading stuff that is talking about your weight and this and that. But he took ownership of it, which is,
I couldn't believe that, dude. I couldn't believe he came back. Like when they asked him about it in the spring, obviously because he looked so different, right? He looked incredible. And they're like, hey, Vlad, what's the deal with the weight? And he's like, hey, listen, I was fat. I came in fat. I let the team down. I apologize for being fat. And I wrote about it. And I'm like, that is the first time that I'm aware of in my professional career of doing all of these things where a player has come in, been chastised for something, and then apologized and made it right.
Yeah. And
it was about him. It was about his weight. I fell in love with the guy after that.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot, man, about the how mature he is. And this organization is still hyped on him, and the fans are hyped on him. I mean, I was there for his debut, and it was a thing of beauty. It's something that I've never seen. So I'm sure he's out there because he wants to, obviously prove himself and prove, more than anything, prove himself that he's the guy, and it's the team's gonna be that much better than what it already is if we get the Vladdy that we know that he can be.
Do you think they're going to be okay? So let's get to it. You bring in Springer, you bring in Semien. I love Marcus Semien. Love him. You bring in Springer, you bring in Semien. You bolster your back end a little bit. Don't do a whole lot on the mound, but still look pretty good. Like Rod Stripling looked really good today. Actually, I think he, which is incredible because I'm not a Rod Stripling guy. But do you think that they are a legitimate contender from what you've seen them do? And if not, are they saving some bullets maybe for the trade deadline?
This is my wild card. Yeah, and you didn't even mention his name, Steven Matz. I have loved that pickup ever since they brought him in.
The Mets.
That guy came in with so much hype in New York and had, a year or two that were pretty good, and then, a change of I said it from the beginning. A change of scenery is going to do this kid wonders, and we've seen a little bit of a taste during spring training. And I just think he's going to keep getting better, honestly. And when you're under the guidance of Pete Walker, I remember I texted him right away. I was like, dude, I love that pickup. And he's like, he's a stud, Rick. He's a stud. And I was like, okay.
Struggled, though. Like he had an ERA last year or something like 9 or 10 or something. He had a tough go.
He's dealt with some injuries and stuff like that. But there's something, too, I mean, about playing in that New York media. And if you don't live up to it, I'm sure it can't be easy because he came in with a lot of hype and stuff like that. So you bring him in, and he's kind of been through it. And I think to me he's the wild card that I'm like, all right, this is the guy that's gonna surprise everyone. And this was the pickup. Yes, Springer obviously was a great pickup, and Semien, great pickup. Those guys are proven veterans. But Matz to me is a guy that I can't wait to see him. And as far as how they're gonna do this year, honestly, I see them competing for the AL East title, and if it all goes well for them, and as they stay healthy, I think they win the AL East.
Ooh. See, now I don't know if you're saying that because you're a homer. First of all, are you a homer? Is that why you're saying it? Because the team drafted you in 2005, 6 overall.
Obviously, we're gonna talk about the Yankees and stuff like that, and they are who they are.
Yankees still look fucking great, and they got better pitching than the Blue Jays.
But their health is always crazy. Like they just
Aaron Judge,
healthy. You got Aaron Judge, you got Stanton, who's just has struggled to stay on the field. I mean, Zach Britton went down yesterday. He's out 2 to 3 months, and it's almost like it always happens. It's been happening to them a little bit too much lately. And yeah, they get to the playoffs, but I always feel like they're never fully healthy throughout the whole year to show their complete dominance. So it'll be a battle between those two, I think. And it's going to be fun because the Blue Jays have good pitching. So do the Yankees. Obviously, they went and got Corey Kluber, who's a former Cy Young winner. So it's going to be one of those things where I think it's going to be between those two teams. Boston, to me, is obviously on a rebuild. Baltimore, I mean, they're
Baltimore. Yeah. Did you hear? Yes, I was laughing today because they announced the governor of Maryland was like, okay, we're going to allow 50% capacity. And one of the players, I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Chris Davis, but it was one of the players is like, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. And you can't forget the Tampa Bay Rays. Somehow those guys they're always there with you look at that playoff roster and you're like, who's the superstar here? and it's crazy because they always have a knack for winning, man. They always have a knack for winning. They just Kevin Cash gets the best out of those guys, and they go out there and go play 9 innings of hard baseball, and they always somehow they're there right at the end. So it'll be interesting, but I think the Blue Jays are, I think you're starting to see a turnaround here. I mean, not long ago they weren't bringing in big time free agents and a guy like George Springer and stuff like that. So I think it's slowly going to turn around for them, and they're going to be.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, because you heard rumors, right? You heard rumors of George Springer's coming, and then he's a year removed from stealing a World Series. So I was like, do you want George Springer? But I mean, he's legitimately one of the best players in baseball, and I could not believe that they spent the money. I was like, and I take nothing away from it. But during a pandemic year when you got no gate. And you maybe touched the playoffs last year a little bit, but there's no gate, revenue's down. And the Blue Jays, it was almost like they said, listen, we've got this core, we touched the playoffs, we need to bring in some cats that have a legitimate CV in Major League Baseball. And George Springer, by and large, and you talk to guys, same with Marcus Semien, they're both fucking leaders, right? They're not just tremendous baseball players. They're really good human beings, despite the stolen World Series.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like I said, it'd be something to see them at the Rogers Center and seeing that place sold out because of all the hype this team has, and rightfully so, they should be. It's one of those things where, man, it'd be cool to be watching on TV and seeing that stadium sold out. Watching this group of stars out on the field, and you add. Like you said, you added Semien, you added Springer, and then you added them to a Vladdy Guerrero, Gurriel, a Teoscar Hernandez, Bo Bichette, and Kevin Biggio, who to me he's one of my favorite guys to just watch, man.
I love him.
It's just from the things
I love watching him hit. I love watching his plate, his patience at the plate. It's very Joey Bats. How you'd sit and watch Joey just work a count, work that count. And I sometimes I don't even give a fuck if he gets a hit. I just love watching him work a pitcher.
Yeah. And if you get a chance, go listen to the podcast episode we did with him. He's just a down to earth kid. And I always said it. This guy, to me, I said on the podcast, to me, he's what a leader should be, and he's never gonna get too up, too down. He's just gonna stay pretty even keel, and I feel like you never really see crazy emotion out of him. And I think it's just one. I'm sure he's learned a lot from his Hall of Fame dad. I mean, watching him and growing up watching his dad do what he did, it's pretty cool itself. So I think you credit a lot. Those guys, you can just tell they carry themselves a lot different. Him, Vladdy, Bo. It's just when you grow up in that environment, I think it obviously helps when you turn into a big leaguer and you're able to have that guidance of hey, this is the way it's going to go at times, and you can just tell they take ownership and they're good leaders, and you sprinkle in Springer and Semien, and I think it just adds a
sprinkle. Those guys are big sprinkles.
Yeah, it adds a different dynamic to the team, and to me, when you add veterans, it's big, man. I think that's a lost thing in baseball nowadays, where veterans are kind of getting pushed aside a little bit. So I wish for me, I wish I saw more veterans, because there's something about veterans and a younger team that brings a whole different dynamic. And you can throw me all the numbers that you want, but it's when you're out there, who's going to help you through those moments, and it's usually those veteran guys.
Yeah. Ricky Romero is our guest. His podcast is Let's Go Ricky Rowe. You can get it on YouTube, anywhere you can find podcasts as well. You can get them on Twitter at Ricky_Rowe24. Nailed it. Do you have?
I saw you have that mic that you look at that.
Yeah, we got the same one, except mine's not working. Mine's not working. You know what we'll do? Why don't we do this? We'll take a break, come back in 2 minutes, and bring in Lachlan and Grant, because they've been waiting patiently, and we're having technical difficulties bringing these fuckers in. So why don't we take a break? We'll come back and we'll finish up with a good 20-minute, and we'll join you in just a second. So hang on. No, we're gonna keep going.
Oh, it didn't pause.
No. We'll hang up, and I'll send you a link, and then we'll pick up in just a few seconds. So
Okay, you want me to leave now?
Yeah. I'll just send you another link. We'll be back with Ricky Romero, Grant Johnson, and Lachlan Cross in just a second. Hold on, friends.
Grant or Locke, who do we start with? I feel like we should start with Grant because he's a Uber fan.
Yes.
Ricky, you're cool with a few questions, yeah?
Yeah. Anything.
Yeah, okay.
Man.
Go ahead, Grant. You're talking to Ricky Romero, former Major League Baseball All-Star, pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, and all-around OG.
Okay, so I was thinking about the 2011, 2012 seasons, and you guys were talking about the Astros stealing a World Series, and it reminded me of the Man in White, and I wanted to ask Ricky about that.
The stupidest thing ever, man. The stupidest thing ever. Because I swore by it. I got to play with or I was in spring training with Jake Peavy with the Giants after I got released by the Blue Jays. So the following year we're in big league camp, and I went up to him and I was like, Jake, did you really think we were stealing signs? He's like, dude, we saw him. I'm like, saw who? I was like, why the hell were we in 4th or 5th place that year then? If it was like, if we were so good and we were stealing signs, and I was like, that's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. He's like, nah, man, we saw him. You know, some of us dressed in our normal clothes, and we went and confronted the guy, and I was like, come on. I was like, there's that some guys still swear by it that we were getting signs, and I'm like, you talk to our hitters and they're like, what the hell are they talking about?
Dumbest system ever. What was it, like one hand in the air for a fastball or something?
Come on, man. It was
Ricky, what was it? Was it one hand in the air for a fastball, Ricky? What was it?
I wasn't a hitter, so
that always blew my mind because it was fastball down the middle, everybody. That whole guy in white always blew my mind because there was never any proof. You know what I mean? There was never anything that like you'd hear stories and players like, I'm sure people ask you post game and you're like, fuck already. There's no guy out there. Like there's no magic dude. There's no guy with flags. He's not scratching his nose. None of that stuff.
Yeah. How much of an impact would it have on the game in your humble opinion, Ricky, if somebody was stealing signs?
We saw the kind of impact it can have in a playoff games or in a World Series. It's a huge impact, and at the end of the day, you still have to be able to hit the ball. I mean, but it's completely different when you know it's coming. You know, I'm all for stealing signs if there's a runner on second base and you're putting up, you know, easy signs that the runner can relay to the hitter. Hey, that's on you as a pitcher and catcher. You're supposed to have a certain system that to make sure that doesn't happen. But if you're, you know, giving easy signs and they're picking them from you, I'm all for that. That's within the game. That's in between the chalk lines. But when you're doing stuff on the outside, that's where it's a little touchy, because it's just it isn't fair. I mean, baseball's hard, and to try and get an edge like that, to me, it's just like, nah, I'm not for that.
How many times like in your career do you remember starting the season and going, oh God, they're fucking with the balls again? Was it like every year?
No, I never really paid attention to that. The only thing that and the only thing is that big league balls are very slick. You talk to a lot of pitchers, they're slick as shit, man. It's like, and which is why, I mean,
so I've heard
there's a reason why guys put some stuff on their hand, you know, and stuff like that, because it's just, you know, when you see it on TV, that, oh, does he have something in his hand? I'm sure he does. But it's not because he's trying to make the ball move. It's because you don't want to smoke the hit, especially when it's cold, man. Those balls get slick, and last thing you want to know, you want to do is let one go and hurt somebody. So that's the only thing about big league balls that I ever noticed. It's like they get a little slick. Maybe you need a little extra not pint, or a little extra rosin or something and stuff like that, and
maybe a thicker emery board. A little bit of sandpaper, some Vaseline that you put on right behind your ear.
That's old school stuff, man.
Did you ever see that? Do you see that interview with Phil Niekro when on, I think it was on the Tonight Show with Dave Letterman, where Phil Niekro got busted? He was literally pulling like emery boards out of his pocket on the mound and pulling out sandpaper. And guys like, how many other fucking things do you have? He's like, and literally, Letterman's like, he goes, so like, you got caught? He goes, no, I just dropped it.
No, when you listen to old school guys about what they used to do to the ball, it's pretty funny, man, because I would never even consider it. You know, I was like, hell, I'd be too scared. But
to grease a ball, you never greased a ball once in your career.
No. You
never scuffed it.
I wouldn't even know what to do. You know how when they say, oh, like the ball has you know how sometimes when the ball hits the front of the plate or something, they throw it out right away.
Yeah.
It's because guys who know how to throw with a scuff, they make the ball like dance. And I never knew. Like, I always tried it. I'm like, all right, how do you do this? And my ball moved a shit ton that I was like, if I don't know what it's doing, then I'm gonna be all over the place. So that's why I was like, if it was a scuff, I was like, I'll just throw it out and get a new one. But guys love throwing with scuffs. Grant,
sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, I was just saying you needed the hair like Clay Buchholz. You just lather things in it.
Here's I got a question for you. This is off. This is personal information that I came across. It's about a former teammate of yours. Great guy. One of my favorite Blue Jays of all time, Edwin.
Yeah. Did
he have the legendary wrench that I've heard he has?
Damn, man.
How many podcasts do you go on where you get asked who had the biggest cock? That's got to happen every time, right?
I'm only asking because we have mutual friends. I know people, and it's not it wasn't a braggadocious way. It was like, it's Edwin. It's Edwin.
I mean, there's your answer.
Ricky didn't shower with him. You go first, Edwin.
I'm beginning to think there was more to the parrot thing. Wooden leg. I don't know.
Yeah, he had to put it up here when he was in the shower. He had to put it up here and run around.
It's speaking of Edwin. It kind of stinks that there's not a team out there that can use him. And I've been saying this a lot. I've been saying this a lot, and teams are hanging these like.
Has he retired yet?
No, he's still working out. I see his stories all the time. He's still in the batting cage and doing what he has to do to be ready, in hopes that he signs. But
he gets a call.
I always say it. Like 60 games that were played last year. Some guys it takes them more than 60 games to get going and find their groove. And when you get thrown into the fire like that, and they like to hold that against him right now, where it's like, oh, well, he didn't do good and he had low numbers. He didn't really hit for power, for average, for anything. But he's another guy that's a veteran guy that I feel like we talked about this earlier, Dean, where veteran guys, that veteran presence, especially for Latino guys, he can be big help. And hopefully he signs soon.
The thing about baseball for me is you just don't play enough games, right? I think you should think about starting earlier, right? It's like, didn't the fucking season just end? And we're on the air reporting spring training. Did you ever like go, geez, I'm
not ready.
2 weeks off.
No, man. Like, honestly, when the season would end, I'd take about 3-4 weeks off, just kind of chill and kind of wind down. And then it was like November, it was like full baseball mode again. November, December, January, boom, spring training, ready for it. And then spring training comes, you can't wait to be there. Once games start, you can't wait to get the hell out of there and start the season. And once the season starts, it's like, all right, it's back to just doing your job and doing it the best you can. And there's something about that. I mean, I enjoyed it, man. Like I said, I was a kid that always wondered what it would be like to be a big leaguer. That when I got that chance, it was like I wanted to be there nonstop. I have that kind of love for the game. I'd say if it meant like getting to the clubhouse at for a 7:00 game, I'd be there sometimes at 11:30, just sitting there chilling and just enjoying taking it all in. Because when I look back at it now, I'm like, fuck, man, my career wasn't as long as I wanted it to be, but I sure as hell did enjoy it, about being in that clubhouse and seeing that big league uniform every day.
What I always call it a rink rat in hockey. What do they call it in baseball? They have another name for it?
A baseball rat?
Baseball.
What I was going to say, what I always loved about you is opening day, you were just as excited as the fans, it felt like.
Oh,
you were pumped.
Come on, man. I mean, when, like I said, I grew up 15 minutes away from Dodger Stadium, and I just remember I couldn't wait for opening day. And it's cool because when I go to Dodger Stadium now, I still see the little before it was like little ticket boxes where you can go get your tickets. And I remember my dad used to take me there and be like, we used to get tickets and then you get them printed out. And dude, I couldn't wait for that. I never went to an opening day because it was always Dodger Stadium. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. It's atrocious for traffic to get in and out of that place. Hell no. Like even now as a grown up, I'm like, I can get tickets if I want to, and they like friends offer them to me, and I'm like, no thanks. I'll watch from home. Like unless it's a really important game or somebody I want to go really see.
Like the World Series, if it's a playoff game, World Series game, you're going to go. But even, you guys are so spoiled out there. Dodgers fan, not you guys. Dodgers fans are so spoiled out there because they're in it every year. And you watch like these playoff games prior to the pandemic, and the stadium was like 3/4 full. And if that was an ALCS here in Toronto, you'd have to pry fucking people out of their seats. Like, it would be packed. It's just like they're so spoiled down there. And then someone explained to me that's traffic too. A lot of season ticket holders are like, hey, dude, people don't even risk it for fucking playoff games.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I've gone to a game there where I had tickets to Game 7 of the World Series where Houston beat them in LA. I actually went to Game 6 and Game 7. Game 7, me and my wife went, and the tickets were like late, like, hey, do you want them? And I was like, fuck, it's Game 7. I'll take them. Let's go. Mm-hmm. When there was one out in the 9th inning, I was like, all right, I'm on a dead sprint to my car. I didn't even stay for either.
Seriously?
I didn't really care. Like, I didn't care for either team.
It's almost sacrilegious in baseball in a World Series to want to beat traffic with one out in the 9th.
Are you kidding me, man? It's either that or sit in traffic for 3 hours.
Is it that bad?
Yeah. I was like, I'm out. Like Toronto would be different for me because, shoot, you go to a pub after or have some beers or whatever. If I was a fan here in LA, that stadium sits up on a hill. There's nothing around. It's not like you're near downtown or anything like that. And
it's a bottleneck in, bottleneck out.
Yeah, there's only like 2 exits, I think 2 or 3 exits. And it's like, nah, hell no, I ain't about to sit here for 3 hours. I knew the Dodgers weren't going to come back. I was like, this ain't looking good. Let's just go. Boom. We were home in like 20 minutes, man.
You can always get a dog on the way out, eh? A cockroach dog, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, speaking of food, I have a question for you, Ricky.
Yeah.
Because I found out that your wife, who, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows, Ricky married into Canadian athlete royalty. I can't decide who married into more athletic royalty, but your kids are going to be fucking super kids.
I was going to ask, what do you watch at home? Soccer or baseball?
Well, she actually really doesn't watch sports. To be honest with you, she really doesn't. I love sports, man. I have a spring training game on right now, but it's me. Like I adopted Manchester United through her. So like this past weekend I was watching the United City game, and she's like, she can care less. She's like, I mean, she'll follow it, she'll watch it every once in a while. But with
serious, she doesn't. She has no, like, she was one of the greatest soccer players to ever play the game.
She's one of those that was like, yeah, I did it, I was good at it, but I haven't. I don't
like
care.
Really good. She scored like in international competition when she was like 15.
Yeah, and I'm like, what about hockey? She's like, I fucking hate hockey. You know, I'm like, you're Canadian though. You're Canadian. No thanks.
Please don't let your kids play soccer.
Oh,
Can I just be? I mean, it probably sounds rude.
I'm with
but
Locke
I'm going to
too.
say it.
Yeah.
Why, man? It's one of the most beautiful sports in the world, man. I've grown more appreciation for it. And when you see those fucking teams out there in Europe, you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Put a golf club in their hands.
If they're really good now, but if they're really good, Ricky, if they're like unbelievable, which they probably are because like they've got your DNA and your wife's DNA, get them into anything they want.
Well, my oldest, we signed them up for 1 year of soccer, and he's like, at the end of the year, he's like, don't ever sign me up for that again. I don't know.
Smart kid. Smart kid.
Speaking of which, I have a picture I'd like to, and I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about this picture. This is you and your lovely wife, Cara. This is Sebastian. This is you. Do you really eat that much fruit?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's real.
I saw that and I'm like, I know Rick a little bit. I don't think he eats that much fruit.
This ain't no fluff, man. It's real. Yeah, I've kind of, like I said, the more information I've gotten, and she's a holistic nutritionist, a certified holistic nutritionist, so she's giving me a lot more info about certain things and what to try and eat more of and what not try and. So I've cut off certain things from my. From
like
my
what? No,
dairy.
you're starting to smile, which is like I've cut off certain things.
Dairy.
Some I wished I wouldn't
cut
have.
out dairy, man. I've cut out dairy.
Yeah, because she's a holistic nutritionist.
She's vegan.
Cool. She went back to school,
but she's been vegan for like 15, 16 years. Like, and I'm
really?
holy smokes! I was like, so when you started, like, people must have really thought you were an alien or something, because now it's a little bit more. You hear about it way more. You go to a restaurant, there's a vegan menu in a lot of places, but 15 years ago, nobody was talking about being vegan. So
how does she feel about Arby's?
Oh, she ain't touching a fast food place, man.
The other night I had the new Pizza Hut KFC pizza. She probably didn't like that one.
Yeah, it's got
Was it
popcorn
awesome?
chicken on it,
It
fucking
was
gravy.
awesome.
And
You gotta get
corn.
higher though.
He's got gravy, corn, and popcorn chicken on a pizza. That's fucking incredible.
His review was, I ate it and it was a 6, and then I got stoned and it was a 10.
Hard 10.
Don't tell your wife about that, Ricky.
Nah, man, nah. She's good. No, like I said, she's kind of, so we at home we try and eat super healthy. And if I go to my mom's, I mean, I come from both my parents are Mexican, so it's like full on Mexican feast every time.
What do they think of the vegan wife?
Yeah.
Well, shoot, you should ask me. The first time we went out on a date, it was like, I was like, oh yeah, like, what are you gonna get? Yada yada yada. And we're talking. She's like, yeah, well, I'm vegan, and I was like,
It's over.
what the fuck is that? I had no idea. That's what I was like. Wait, what is that? What is no joke? And I was like, sat there, and in my head, I said it. This is over. There's no chance.
I can't
Tell
live
me
with
you
a vegan.
don't drink too, right?
No, man. It was the most awkward thing. And we always talk about it and laugh about it now, but it was one of those things where it was like,
What does she have? What does she have when she?
I think it was like a. Have you ever been to Dunedin, Florida?
Oh yeah.
Have you been to Island Way Grill?
Nope.
Down in Clearwater. It's a really nice restaurant, and It's like steak and seafood. And she's like, yeah, let me get I was like, so what are you going to get? I think she got a salad and maybe an avocado roll. And I'm like, that ain't sushi. Rice wrapped around avocado, rice wrapped around avocado. I was like, all right, whatever.
So did she make you? Is this like one of those vegan things where you go, yeah, you know what, you're really healthy, works for you, and this is what you cook? Are you still eating meat, or does she let you eat meat?
Oh no, yeah, of course, man. Come on, yeah.
Come on, he says.
It's one of those things where I told her, like, we've kind of like at home. I'm like, let's cook what you eat. You cook what you eat, and let's just I'll adopt that. And so at home we try not to eat meat. If I'm out and about, I'll grab like something that has to do, like, I don't know, some tacos or something like that.
Something that got killed.
Yeah.
Well, hold it, Rick. Like, what you're saying is that you are allowed to eat meat, and you just pulled the old hell no, I can still eat the meat, and then you're like, only when I go out.
As long as she's not around.
I'm gonna do it at home. At home, and the reason for that is because I want to try and be healthier, and feel better about myself. And when I was 18, I tell her what I was eating in college, and she's like, oh my God, are you kidding? It was like McDonald's and Subway meatball subs, and I didn't give a fuck because I wasn't gaining weight. I was like skinny as shit, and now I feel like if I eat that, man, I'd be huge, and I still work out every day. And but yeah, it's all about living a healthier lifestyle with all the stuff that's out and the stuff that I know. It's just, I know for me it's going to be better in the long run. Shit, my knees are jacked up still, so it's like, if I can get rid of inflammation as much as I could through what I eat, then I'll do that.
Yeah, I guess there's that portion of it. Yeah.
I was vegan for 3 weeks just because I lost a bet on the radio show, and I fucking hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
There's so many. This is the crazy thing. There's so many alternatives now that it's crazy what that world has come into. We've gone to Vegan Fest at the Rose Bowl here, and it's some of the stuff that they put out there. I'm like, this is real meat.
Lots of options.
And there's a lot of options, and it's kind of cool. Though some of our favorite restaurants are vegan food, like vegan restaurants, and it's like, it's crazy. Like, if you're ever in LA, I'm gonna take you to one, Dean, and
I'll go.
And it's good stuff.
You sound a little brainwashed, Ricky. I'm just gonna say that out loud. And your wife's beautiful, and it's understandable. I would still, if there's a wild dog around here that was gonna get a bullet when I was vegan, I swear to God, if I could have got away with it.
Don't worry, if I'm ever at downtown Toronto late night, those little hot dog stand, I'm hitting them up.
Oh my God,
the big
I
slice.
had a hot dog the day I came off the vegan diet.
You had 6 hot dogs.
Okay, Ricky, I had 6 hot dogs.
It's like if I go to Dodger Stadium, it's like, it's a must that I have to have a Dodger dog. It's just.
Hey, here's a question. Are there any places in Toronto that you miss eating at? Like some of your favorites? Because I know you used to go to a few pubs.
Yeah.
O'Grady's was one of those good times. It was a lot of fun. The Underground, the Undie was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. It's over for the Undie.
How's the Loose Moose doing?
The Loose Moose never went.
Yeah, I never really went there.
It's like a creeper place, the Loose Moose.
Okay.
A place, Jacob Steakhouse. That place was legit.
Do you remember the Caesar salad that they would make right in front of you, Jacob?
That was legit, yeah.
And the coffee cake that you would get at the end. Would you eat the coffee cake?
Yeah. Oh, I'd always eat it the next morning.
I did too. I always took it home and then I'd have it the next morning. Yeah.
Dude, you can't eat that right after you go to that place. I feel like you just leave completely stuffed. But Jacob Steakhouse was Spice Root was really good too. I don't know if it's still there.
Still is.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my favorite places now is Barrow, man. That place is legit.
Barrow. I have never been to Barrow.
It's on King Street
in the city. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Barrow. It's close to the Kit Kat Club, which isn't too far away.
It's right near I know it's on King Street.
It's close to the Kit Kat Club. I know where it is. Yeah.
That place.
Lachlan like going to East Side Mario's, so
yeah. Loch misses the all you can eat breadsticks at the Olive Garden.
Well, and I'm leaving with a bag, right?
There was a place in Edmonton actually that was a super healthy place where when we went for the baseball camp, we ate there almost every day. I forget. It was right downtown.
What's the name of that Mexican restaurant, Grant, that everyone talks about in Edmonton? Every time we talk about high end,
I can't remember. Yeah.
shit.
See, that's the thing, man. There's no such thing as high-end Mexican food. Anybody who says
Oh,
that
this
is
place,
trolling,
this
man.
this place
You know,
is.
can I tell you something, Ricky? Not one of us could get away with saying that. Just you.
Yeah.
I mean, because people like when I have friends come, they're like, "Oh, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant in LA?" And I'm like,
We just call them restaurants. Is that what
I
you
don't
said?
know because all I ever did was eat at my mom cooked for us. So that's the Mexican food that I know. So I've had friends come over and to my mom's house, and when I was playing, we'd get into LAX. I'd have a car ready waiting for us, and we would pack it with like 10, 15 guys. My mom would have carne asada, beans, rice for everyone as soon as we'd get there, and then we'd go to the hotel.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's, if you flew out there, you'd go to your place. Your mom would feed you guys all
The whole
a
team.
bunch
It
of
was like 1 year
Spanish
was
food. And then,
Edwin, Escobar. It was like a bunch of dudes, man. And like it turned into a huge feast. My dad would travel into Florida sometimes with like 30 pounds of meat so he can grill for all of us. Yeah.
That's
No joke,
fantastic.
man. It was cool, man. It was like it kind of turned into like it started at just 4 of us in my little complex, 4 players, and then it kind of grew into 6, 10. And next thing you know, it was like everyone was raving about this meat. And this meat that my dad buys is in a little tiny store in East LA where I grew up. So so then it turned into like 15, 20, 30 guys. Next thing you know, Jose Bautista's hosting the whole team, and my dad's sitting there grilling for everyone, and my mom's making beans and rice for everyone. It was cool, man. It was like a way for us to like become closer, and that's the part for me like that I miss the most. When it's stuff
about
like
the
that.
game.
Yeah. I mean, the camaraderie that you share with those guys, and we share so much on the field, but it's what you do off the field. I think that's pretty cool.
Did you pitch good in LA when you visited? I can't remember.
The first time I didn't. And it was overwhelming. It was like ticket requests left and right. Second time around, I told my mom, I was like, listen, when I come here, it's not a vacation. I can't talk to everyone. I can't take a picture with everyone. I have to come in here and do work. It's my job to come in here. So I'm going to give you X amount of tickets. You do whatever the hell you want with them. I'll see you after the game. I want to see you. I don't want to see 50 people lined up. That it's just like left and right. You're getting pulled left and right. It's like I only get to see you for like 3 days out of the whole year. And next thing you know, I'm gone. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you at the end of the year. So she understood. And next 2-3 times I pitched her, it was good. The only place I wish I would have pitched at was Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Never got to play there.
Yeah, I think it's really I think it's awesome that that's the part that you miss. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's incredible because that's the kind of person that you are. Like, if you've ever sat and talked to Ricky for any period of time, he's just as low key as he seems, but he's like, the video case in point. This is the video that he put up the other day. I think it was probably about 2-3 weeks ago. This is, I think, your eldest, if I'm not mistaken. Face. That's your like
that's
like
my
you,
youngest.
you
That's my
that's
youngest.
your youngest.
You know what I like about that? He's not playing soccer.
Yeah. I mean, he's obsessed. He's obsessed with the bat. Obsessed.
By the way, that
He's
restaurant
got-
was Trey Carnell's.
Oh, Trey Carnell. Yeah.
Somebody listening texted it to me. So there you
Trey
go.
Carnell's in Edmonton.
Yeah, I'm
That was the
probably
name of
saying it wrong.
We got a new baseball team in Edmonton here this summer.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're joining I can't remember what the league is. It's like a Seattle league, so a lot of travel.
So if you're not busy,
We're looking
Come-
forward to it, actually.
We're
That's
taking
one
it
thing
quick
we
right
don't
now.
get. We got a nice little ball stadium here in town, and it's a lot of fun going to the games.
I've actually seen the stadium there. Yeah, I think I saw it. We drove by it. I think.
Great little stadium.
It used to be a AAA team.
I
there.
actually so before the pandemic hit, I was going to a facility to learn the analytical side and the body movement and all that stuff. It was pretty funny because I was like, all right, I want to learn all this stuff so that if I ever interview for a job, I know what to say, what to do, and just learn. So then I got on the mound and I started doing. I was like, I want to do everything everyone else is doing because I want to know what it feels like. So then it was pretty funny because I got on the mound and it was like 86, 88, 89. And the guy's like, hey, man, you want to throw like 95, 96? We can get you to that. I was like, you get me throwing 95, 96, we'll host a tryout here. And obviously the pandemic hit. So there was that. It never happened.
Dude, do you think with a little bit of time off, we've never talked about this. Do you think with a little time off, because you guys were talking about it in your podcast with Lindy and Josh Tolley the other day. Josh, like both of those guys could go and run into a few if they went up and played. Do you think with the time off, the vegan diet, forced vegan diet?
I can hear you now, man. He's gonna come in here right now and wreck your shit.
Hey, dude, tell Cara I'm sorry. I watched the entire interview with her talking about testing people's blood for their lactose intolerance today because I wanted to know my stuff, and I thought she was brilliant, really good. Like almost convinced me that I should stop drinking milk, almost. But
that's the worst thing ever for you, man. Come on, that's
milk
a topic for another day.
We've been drinking it for years. The second I was born. Sure, go ahead. Bring her in. Because the second I was born, I started drinking it, and I'm alive. Yeah, I want to find out what's so.
You don't
what's
look
so bad
very
with milk.
healthy. I'm kind of on Ricky's side.
A minute, maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, why I should stop drinking milk? Okay,
because you're not a
that'd
baby
be good.
cow.
Because what?
You're not a baby cow.
Hi, Cara.
Hi.
Hi, Diego. Hi, look at that cute little guy. Oh, look at this, cute. So I'm not a baby cow. I recognize that.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the impending birth of your daughter, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not a cow, but what is it doing to me that I should? Hey, buddy.
It's creating inflammation. It's giving you're consuming the hormones of a pregnant cow. It's growth hormone for baby cows. It's meant to take a baby cow to over 200 pounds in 2 years. It's not meant for humans.
It's working.
What about ice cream?
What about ice
Well, I guess
cream?
it just depends on what your goals are. Maybe we should. Maybe we should.
But you, because I watched an interview with you, and you were talking with these two young ladies and about people's blood work, testing people's blood work.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to the end of the interview, but I was like, okay, well, she's very serious about this and she's in great shape and she's married to my friend who's a really good guy. So maybe there's something to it. That's why I wanted to ask Ricky about his diet. And I'm sorry for making jokes about being a forced vegan, but I'm
Forced vegan.
I wanted to ask about the milk because it was serious enough that he quit drinking milk and he's like militant about it. And I saw you speaking on it today, but stop drinking milk, I guess.
Yeah, it's just not, I mean, it's just not meant for humans and it's not necessary. So especially for somebody who's like, I mean, we're the only mammal that doesn't wean from milk, you know, like
That's because there's Dairy Queen,
yeah, well,
right?
I thought you were just hanging out.
No, it's
No, this is live, man.
Yeah, you have like 200 viewers right now watching you.
Yeah. So no better time than to tell everybody the virtues of how terrible cow milk is.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Hey,
it's
man.
not necessary. Canada took it off the food pyramid for a reason. It's not necessary. So
Yeah.
you know, there's so many better options out there.
Like oat milk, almond milk.
Oat
Yeah,
milk's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
again, that really does depend on your goals. Like, I wouldn't recommend almond milk's not the best choice for like a toddler or something like that, but for a grown up, yeah, that's
What
fine.
about for a kilogram bowl of Lucky Charms?
Mm.
I think you might want to address the Lucky Charms too.
Just pure cream.
Set up a consultation. Hit me up. I think there's more work to do.
Yeah.
See, I'm being healthy.
Sister, wait till I stand up. You'll see how much work there is.
Speaking of bag of milk,
Yeah. Listen, Cara, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard
Yeah,
so many
you
nice
too.
things about you from Ricky, and I was I was singing your praises earlier about how unbelievable you are and how revered you are in the athlete community up here in Canada, and we love you. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm greasing the wheels, Rick. Can she still hear me? I'm greasing the wheels.
Bye.
No, see you later. Thanks. That's nice, right? It was a whole family thing right there.
Are you coming back to Canada, Ricky? Is that the plan eventually?
Well, I mean, yeah. As soon as that
Bought a house.
Well, isn't it what is it right now, Dean? You land there and you go straight to a hotel. Is that
They
the whole
put you in a gulag.
Yeah, they land and they put you in a hotel called the Intercontinental, where it's all you can eat buffet for $4.99. So that's cool.
Oh shit!
But you got to stay there for like fucking 7 days. So you just stay there for 7 days. But you know you don't have to stay in the hotel. You can go, hey, I'm going to go to Dean's, stay there for a few days, and then I'll be cool. Or you can just go and stay with your in-laws like a normal human being.
Or my house. I mean, shoot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got the house.
Yeah.
Here's a better question about coming back to Toronto. But I'm not done talking about you coming back to pitch. If you can still jack that thing up to 88, 89, and this guy can get you up to 94, 95, why aren't we talking about a comeback? Why aren't we talking about Ricky Romero making a comeback? Dude, Anthony Ghost. Did you hear about him?
Yeah, but that guy has always had a good
Hasn't
arm.
played in fucking 5 years, and he's
always had a
position
good
player.
arm. As soon as he knew he wasn't gonna live up to his hitting status, he went to pitching, and it's dude, he goes gas. I was watching some of his highlights yesterday, and I was like, whoa, and he's got a good curveball too. So hey, when you got 97, 100 in the tank, man, it don't matter. It don't matter.
What about Joey Bats?
You can
Wasn't he
pitch
throwing 94?
Yeah, Joey's pitching too.
Yeah, he was throwing like 93, 94,
there?
I think.
Yeah. You got me? You got me? You there? Yellow.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yellow. Yeah.
I'm here.
He's asking about Joey Bats. You think Joey Bats can jack it up to 94, 95? He's got a cannon.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, maybe he could, but can he do it consistently?
That's the question, and that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you got the pedigree.
And it's not only that.
You know how to.
Can he recover? Can he do all that good stuff? That's the stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. You would know better than me. I'm just saying. I'm still talking about you, and I'm still trying to convince you to fucking make a comeback. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't put on a professional development day. I don't see. Why don't you just go have a show day?
My time is done, man. I'm good doing what I do.
All right. Just trying to help. Trying to be a friend.
I was thinking about the home openers again, season openers. I was remembering 2012. 2012 playing Cleveland.
The longest game ever, man.
I went to a pub to watch it, and I said I'm going to do a beer every inning, and the game went fucking 15 innings or something like that.
If you're wondering, Ricky, he did do it.
Oh yeah.
Just I know him. I know the kind of man he is.
So thanks for that.
It's accomplished.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ricky Romero. He is your former Toronto Blue Jay, former All-Star, only guy I know who has been put on the DL with a sneeze. It's a true story. Only man I know. And appreciate you being here, buddy. Yeah.
No, thanks for having me, man. It's always good. It's always good catching up with you and just shooting the shit, man. I think that's the cool part about doing something like this. It's when you're able to just shoot the shit, talk shop, talk old times. It's always good.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
And get a
great.
little lesson on how to be dairy free. It's always good, man. You got everything today.
Wasn't my favorite part of the podcast. I mean, it was awesome because it was really nice to finally meet your wife and see your son. And I'm really excited because Ricky, I don't know if you guys know this, he's having a child in like 6 weeks, or he's not. His wife is.
Little girl.
Nice.
Little girl.
Then he's getting the snip.
Hell yeah, 100%.
Good luck with that.
Don't. I had mine done and I cried after. Tears of joy.
Don't go to a doctor in Winnipeg, right, Locke?
Jesus. The worst mistake of my life. I had a tennis ball size nut for about 4 days.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine
and then they
turned
told me
black.
I might have to do it again. Your balls went black?
Yeah. My balls turned black. It was like from the shaft from the shaft to each hip to my gooch. It was. I thought I had like the plague down there, and I remember because my urologist had a cottage right next to mine because that's how I got my vasectomy. I'm like, hey, dude, you mind just doing this for me? Because I don't really feel like
in the
else
cottage.
touching my wiener. No, at the
That's
hospital.
another thing. I don't think you got a vasectomy.
No, I did.
You're also missing the kidney.
Come on over.
Explains
We'll have
why your
barbecue.
nuts are black. Yeah. No, so I went in, and what they do, if you guys don't know, is you got to go in there and you got to clean up, right? That's one of the things they tell you to do is clean that shit up, and then they they put a little towel over your baggins, and there's a hole in the towel, and they literally grab your junk and wrench it through this hole like they're threading a needle, and your stuff is just laying there, and there's like 3 or 4 people standing around talking like, so how's your weekend? It was great. How was yours? And it's the most fucking impersonal business you've ever conducted in your entire life. And they're fondling your testes, and they're moving your shaft, and then you feel this sharp pain go in the base of your nutsack.
I had 3 nurses. I had 3 nurses and a doctor. I'm like, I got 2 fucking nuts. Why do I need 4 people in this room right now? Why is this a party?
Some people pay for that.
Like, are these special? Are my nuts that big that we needed to bring in a couple more people?
No, they just wanted to watch. Yeah, they just wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ricky, listen, appreciate you doing this, brother. Thank you so much.
We're ending on vasectomy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good
Great
luck with all
baseball
that.
career, though.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon. Grant,
All right.
Johnson, and Lachlan from 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. Listen to their morning show. It is excellent, and I appreciate you guys being here as well. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us. Nice to meet you, Ricky. All right. Good luck. Good luck with the kid.
All right. Thank
you. And the
I'm going to put your
vasectomy.
jersey on.
Attaboy. He's going to go put his jersey on. He's going to shirt cock it the whole time, too, probably. Thanks, Ricky. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Talk to you soon. There you go. Ricky Romero, Grant, and Lachlan for today's podcast. Appreciate everybody for joining us. That was fun. Always love doing those. It's like introducing your friends from your former life to your new friends. You ever notice that? When you do that, you're like, oh, there's new people. Meet some old people. They get along because they get one thing in common. For some reason, they like you. It's a great way to live. Anyway, thanks for joining the podcast. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, you can get us at deanblundell.com. Sign up for a newsletter there. The podcast brought to you by our friends at Blue Microphones. Get your Blue Microphones today. If you're podcasting or broadcasting, go to @BlueMicrophones on Twitter. My son's sitting right there waiting for me. Got to give him a ride. You ready to go, kid? You ready to go? Ready to go, cat? His hair looks incredible, too. Anyway, if you had one of their Logitech cams, or if you had a Blue microphone like this Yeti X, or these MoFi Grammy Award-winning Blue microphone headphones, you know what I'm talking about. Be a winner. Get some stuff from Blue, the official microphone of the DeanBlundell.com network. Thanks to our friends at Ed's Fine Imports and Gitch. Ed's Gitch now, 4 for the price of 3 with promo code Gitch3. Go to edsfineimports.com. Luxurious underwear. I'm going to send some to our guests. I'm going to start doing that. Sending these Gitch to our guests. Because you know what? Everybody could use a pair of Gitch, especially our friends like Ricky. And they're supportive. So when he goes and gets his vasectomy, everything's cool. It's going to be all right. If you get some Gitch from edsfineimports.com. And our friends at Domination, Adam and the gang, maybe the coolest software you'll ever use to create content, like the stuff we create, podcasts, promos, commercials, all that kind of stuff, music, anything you want, video, audio. And it produces it at an unbelievable rate. And like, you know, your promo usually take you like an hour and a half to put together. If you're going to do something and throw it on social media, everybody's trying to figure that out. Go to domination.com. It takes you like 5 minutes and you get 70 pieces of content. You can try it for free today as well. DMNTN, domination.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the podcast. Thanks